What's going on? Big A coming out here with another video. And in this one, I wanted to talk about Loki. And I watched the series on Disney Plus. I also watched the making of the assembled episode that they did as well. And generally, my thoughts on it were, yeah, it was all right. It didn't really push it to where I wanted it to go. I thought it was going to be more kind of like a Doctor Who with more money. That's what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit like that, and like, he was going to find his purpose and X, Y, Z. And by the end of the show, he kind of does. But the weird thing is, there's something about the show that nobody is seem to talk about or addressing, and it's the fact that Loki met an alternate version of himself, which is female, and he fell in love with her, and she fell in love with him. So they are brother and sister, and they're into each other. Like, yes, they're variants, but they are essentially the same person. I guess you could call them twins of some sort. But no one is saying like how weird that is, and how, well, Loki and Sylvia kind of the new Jamie and Cersei Lannister of pop culture. Like, nobody's like mentioning that. Everyone's like ignoring it. I'm like, why are we not gonna? We're not gonna at least acknowledge it. Everyone acknowledged it when Luke in Star Wars, and his want for Leia. I guess you know what I mean. Everyone acknowledged that. Obviously, everyone acknowledged what happened with like Jamie and Cersei Lannister. But with Loki, no one's like saying how weird it is that it's weird that he's into himself anyway, but he's into his alternate female self, so his sister. No one's mentioning it. I'm just like, am I the only one that's noticed? Is no one else paying attention? Is everyone else just like ignoring it because it's convenient to ignore? I'm not saying it shouldn't necessarily be in the show. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's like, bro, it's weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a bit odd that they roll that into the show, and no one's saying how effing weird it is. Even in the show, like he mentioned it at one point, but no one's like, bro, that's your sis, dude. Like, go chase some tails somewhere else with someone who's not a relation of you or a copy of you, because it's weird. It kind of makes sense as well, because like Loki thinks he's the shit, he thinks he's the best. The only person he trusts is himself. So yeah, he'd love himself. I get that, but it's like people in the show should be going, bro, that's weird, because it is weird. But yeah, I just think it's strange that no one's really mentioned it or addressed it in really any way. Even in the making of, they mention it, and they kind of mention of, oh, we came up with this, but they don't go, yeah, it's weird. Like, they just don't acknowledge it. It's like, oh, okay, great. But yeah, let me know as to whether you've seen Loki, whether you noticed, obviously, Sylvia and Loki's relationship and thought, it's a bit odd, bit too much in the family. That. Let me know as to what you think in general. Do all the things, and as always, I catch you on the next one.